Do you want to start reading in English, but feel like every book is so difficult? Well, here's the truth. Reading in English as a non-native speaker is not rocket science. And the biggest challenge, though, is simply get started. Once you take the first step, you're going to find yourself reading more and more. But choosing the right book is key, and this video helps you with that. Hey everyone, this is Johnny English here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to recommend some simple, short, and enjoyable books that are perfect for English learners. These books will help you build confidence and make reading in English a more enjoyable process. I'll walk you through each and every one of these books and explain why it is a great choice. So if you're ready to take the first step toward reading in English, let's get started. To kick things off, I like to recommend a book that I think everybody should read, The Little Prince. I have read this book 3 times in a few years, and every time I read it, I got something new from it. Perhaps what we can feel after reading this book is that growing up is a sad and weird process. Grown-ups are weird. They strive to collect wealth, they do not know what to do with it. They seek to boss others even though there's no one to subject to them. They assert they know everything on the planet but never set foot out there. They would like to obey any order without questioning the meaning of the orders in the first place. This obvious trait, easily perceived by this little prince, is often neglected by adults. I, unfortunately, often fell prey to this ignorance. As I started to realize that I have lost and act frivolously, I go back to The Little Prince to regain the understanding of the simple truth of life. The author captures the essence of human nature with remarkable imagination. Through the adventure of The Little Prince, we are reminded of the life's simple yet profound truths: kindness, love, curiosity, and imagination. Whenever we find ourselves burdened by the flaws of humanity, lost in an overly complicated lifestyle, The Little Prince leads us back to the right track. The Little Prince is like a mirror that reflects each and every one of us. His journey through various planets, meeting peculiar grown-ups, is not just a story. It unfolds the process of us growing up. Through his eyes, we see the absurdity of adulthood, the tyrannous pursuit of wealth, admiration, and status, often at the cost of meaningful connections and true happiness. His simple yet mischievous reactions to these so-called successes reveal a fact that much of what our society values, something that we have taken for granted, deserves to be questioned. In contrast, the Little Prince cherishes the small and delicate. He tends to his little planet, nurtures his beloved rose, cherishes his volcano, and cares deeply to his relationship. I think the Little Prince planet is pretty much similar to our home, and how the Little Prince behaves sheds light on the simple fact that we should give sincere care to what's around us. The Little Prince is a book that suits the appetite of both children and adults. It is a story for children, but it is a profound reflection for adults. I very much recommend this book as your first or second book if you are new to reading in English. It is short, so it does not take a lot of your time. Every chapter of this book is very short and concise, so you don't have to worry that you might get lost in the middle if you spend a lot of time with the dictionary. You can read it once and think that it is a cute little story, but as you grow, you may reflect on yourself. If you're not a fiction person, nonfiction is an even better choice. I think a good place to start is this one, Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. In this world, the only thing that does not change is that it invariably changes. This book captures the truth through a simple metaphor, a story of 2 mice searching for cheese in a maze. Like them, we're all in pursuit of a stable and fulfilling life. We long for steady career, consistent income, and a future we can predict. We tell ourselves that the cheese will always be there, right where we left it. But the truth is, the cheese never promises to stay forever. There are times that we find that the cheese could run out and the cheese will not stay where it always is. I have witnessed many changes in my life. A new school, a new community, new subjects to learn, an internship, graduate, etc. Whenever there's a change in my life, I return to Who Moved My Cheese to remind myself that change is inevitable. Spencer Johnson does a brilliant job of showing how we react to changes. The book does not just teach us how to survive change, it teaches us how to thrive in it. The 2 characters in this book represents 2 mindsets among us in the face of changes. They're the ones who keep waiting for the cheese to return, hoping for things to go back to how they were. refusing to adapt. There are the ones, however, who recognize the change and move forward, knowing that there's always a new piece of cheese to find. The book reveals how we all deal with changes differently. What matters most is that change doesn't have to be a threat. It can be an invitation to explore, to grow, and find more better things. We should be more like the little mouse, Scurry, who does not overthink and does not sit around waiting for the world to change. He just goes out there and looks for new cheese. Who Moved My Cheese isn't just a business fable, it's a life lesson. It reminds us that the life is consistently evolving, and our happiness and success depend not on holding on to the past, but on being willing to adapt and move forward. The simple, fable-like structure makes it engaging without being overwhelming, and the lessons are universal, whether you are dealing with changes in your career or personal life, or just navigating ups and downs in your daily life. It is a book that will make you reflect without requiring a lot of time and effort, and it could give you a fresh perspective on how to face challenges with a more open, adaptable mindset. So if you're looking for a quick read, this one is made just for you. You might still find that these books are a little bit too overwhelming or beyond your current English proficiency. You might ask, Shani, are there better choices out there? Are there simple choices out there? Of course. I can't find a better choice of books than children's books for English learners to read. I have read 2 of them, and I think they're very good choices. They're Dear Zoo and I Am a Bunny. Dear Zoo by Rod Campbell is a classic lifted flap book. It takes the form of a letter where readers lift flaps to discover which animal the zoo has sent. Each animal is described with characteristics, and in the end, the zoo sends the perfect pet. The language in Dear Zoo is very simple and repetitive, which is a huge advantage for beginner readers. The pattern and repetition help with predicting what comes next, and the illustrations offer strong visual support to help students understand the text. I don't have it right now because I read this book to a child and she really liked it and remembered the word almost in a flash, so I decided to give it to her as a gift. Another recommendation though is I Am a Bunny by Oi Ransom. It is a picture book in which a bunny named Nicholas takes the reader through the seasons, describing what the bunny does at different times of the year, exploring nature and animals. It is a gentle story with simple rhythmic text and beautiful illustrations that capture the innocence of childhood as well as the beauty of nature. Compared to Dear Zoo, its language are a bit more difficult for absolute beginners, particularly in terms of natural settings. I encourage the readers to look at the pictures, guess the meaning of the words from the context, and read the sentence out loud. Oh, by the way, there are tons of children's books out there. Be sure to go out there and pick the one that you find interested in. And if you have a specific suggestion, please make sure to leave it down to the comment section below. If you like to read English fiction but have a hard time decoding the language, maybe you can try reading adapted books. The Oxford Bookworm series is a good place to go. It is a collection of books designed for learners of different levels, ranging from beginners to advanced students. The books are adapted from original English books, which each book carefully graded according to different levels of language proficiency. The levels are clearly labeled, which helps you choose the appropriate difficulty level for your skills. Each book includes a glossary of key vocabulary and comprises some exercises to help you reinforce your learning and understanding of the story better. What I have here is The Call of the Wild by Jack London. It is a classic adventure novel set in the Yukon Territory. The story follows Buck, a domesticated dog who is stolen from his comfortable home in California and sold into the harsh life of sled dog in the frozen wilderness. As Buck faces the brutal challenges of his new environment, he gradually sheds his domesticated nature and reconnects with his primal instincts. The novel explores themes of survival, the law of the wild, and struggle between a civilization and the untamed wilderness. The book is labeled as B1 level, meaning that you can easily finish the book if you can master around 3,000 English words. I finished this book in 2 days, and I think you can also read it with ease. Of course, you can get any book in a series that suits your English proficiency level and get started. Some people say that reading adapted book is not effective as the flavor and implication of the original books are lost. Well, I don't agree with it much. For starters, I think flavor, implication, and image are solely the concerns of advanced readers with, well, incredible English mastery. However, for language learners, their main goal is to learn the language, and their concerns would mostly bear on the understanding of the language instead of the message hidden between the context. At the same time, the language of adapted books is transferred from a group of language experts who are able to eradicate language barriers and difficulty while maintaining the foundation of the original story. To that end, adapted books makes very good reading materials for language learners. What's more important about reading English books is the motivation. Successfully completing a book is rewarding for any reader, but most English learners are baffled by complex phrasing in one of the greatest writing works in history. How can we perceive the story, the expression, and the art of writing if we lack the motivation to finish a book in the first place? In this case, adapted books with simplified language maintain that motivation by offering achievable goals, which can inspire learners to continue reading and progressing. As readers progress, they are likely to read books with increased difficulty, thereby understanding the original books in the future. So there you have it. This is the recommendation of the short, concise, and simple books that are perfect for English learners to read. I think these 5 books can more or less take up your reading list in 2025. If you want to learn English in a systematic manner by using textbooks, you can check out the video right here. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I'm Sean English here. Remember, happy learning, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.